agonists, M1, M4, M5. 1. A 62-year-old man with peptic ulcer disease is given a medication that selectively blocks M1 receptors. Which of the following effects is most likely to occur? A. Increased gastric acid secretion. B. Decreased gastric acid secretion. C. Bronchodilation. D. Increased heart rate. Answer B. Decreased gastric acid secretion. Explanation. M1 receptors are found in the CNS and gastric parietal cells. Blocking M1, e.g. pirenzepine, reduces gastric acid secretion, which is useful in peptic ulcer disease. 2. A patient with Parkinson's disease is prescribed a medication that acts as an M1 receptor agonist. Which of the following symptoms is most likely to improve? A. Bradykinesia. B. Dry mouth. C. Excessive sweating. D. Cognitive impairment. Answer D. Cognitive impairment. Explanation. M1 receptors are primarily located in the CNS and play a role in cognition and memory. Agonists enhance cholinergic activity and may benefit cognition in neurodegenerative diseases. 3. A scientist is studying the role of M4 receptors in the brain. Which of the following conditions is most likely influenced by M4 receptor activation? A. Hypertension. B. Schizophrenia. C. Bronchospasm. D. Myasthenia gravis. Answer B. Schizophrenation. M4 receptors are found in the CNS, particularly in the striatum, where they regulate dopamine release. M4 activation inhibits dopamine transmission, which may help in schizophrenia treatment. 4. A researcher is developing an M4 muscarinic receptor agonist. Which of the following effects would likely be observed? A. Increased dopamine release. B. Decreased dopamine release. C. Pupil dilation. D. Bronchodilation. Answer B. Decreased dopamine release. Explanation. M4 receptors are inhibitory muscarinic receptors in the brain, which reduce dopamine release. This has potential applications in schizophrenia and drug addiction therapy. 5. Which of the following effects is most likely mediated by M5 receptor activation? A. Increased cerebral blood flow. B. Decreased salivation. C. Decreased heart rate. D. Increased insulin release. Answer A. Increased cerebral blood flow. Explanation. M5 receptors are found in the vasculature of the CNS, where they regulate cerebral blood flow. Their activation leads to vasodilation, which may have implications in stroke and neurodegenerative diseases. 6. A patient is given an experimental drug that selectively blocks M5 receptors. Which of the following effects is most likely to occur? A. Increased dopamine release. B. Decreased cognitive function. C. Increased salivation. Increased gastrointestinal motility. Answer A. Increased dopamine release. Explanation. M5 receptors are found in dopaminergic neurons of the substantia nigra. Blocking M5 increases dopamine release, which might have implications for Parkinson's disease. 7. Which muscarinic receptor subtype is most involved in learning and memory? A. M1, B. M3, C. M4, D. M5. Answer. Explanation. M1 receptors are highly expressed in the hippocampus and cortex and are involved in cognitive functions like learning and memory. 8. A new drug enhances M5 receptor function in the brain. Which of the following would most likely be an adverse effect? A. Hypotension. B. Hypertachycardia. D. Decreased cognitive function. Answer A. Hypotension. Explanation. M5 receptors mediate cerebral vasodilation. Increased activation can lead to excessive vasodilation and hypotension. 9. A patient experiences hallucinations and confusion after taking a medication that blocks M1 receptors. Which of the following drugs is the most likely cause? A. Scopolamine. B. Neostigmine. C. Pilocarpine. D. Physostigmine. Answer A. Explanation. Scopolamine is an M1 antagonist that crosses the blood-brain barrier, leading to confusion, hallucinations, and sedation. M4 receptors are most commonly associated with which of the following physiological processes? A. Regulation of insulin secretion. B. Inhibition of dopamine release. C. Vasodilation in the lungs. D. Activation of skeletal muscles. Answer B. Inhibition of dopamine release. Explanation. M4 receptors are found in dopaminergic pathways and help modulate dopamine release, making them potential targets in neurological disorders. Key takeaways for medical revalidation of Puerto Rico. M1, CNS, cognition, memory, gastric acid secretion. M4, CNS, dopamine inhibition, schizophrenia potential target. M5, cerebral vasodilation, dopamine modulation. Antagonists of M1 can cause cognitive impairment, e.g. scopolamine. M4 and M5 play roles in schizophrenia and Parkinson's disease. Would you like more detailed explanations?